Hi guys, and I am back with another one. Yes, it's your girl T. As you can see, I cut my hair off. It was getting too much. It was just too long. It was getting knotty. I was like, I've had enough. So I cut that shit off. But anyway, today I will be doing a video about therapy and mental health. So I just want, like, if you know me, you know I'm quite transparent in my life and I don't really like hide what I go through. So I'll just give you a bit more information about the things that I've been through. I mean, I won't get too personal, but it's more like to help you guys if anyone's going through like the same thing, and if anyone's thinking about therapy and want to explore those options, which I think is a very good idea, then hopefully we can relate. And if you've got any questions you want to ask me, then we can do that. But let's get into it. All right, so this year I decided to take therapy for the third time in my life. And it is always a major step. And if you are taking therapy or thinking about taking therapy, you are on the right path. Congratulations for even getting there. It is a big deal and it takes a lot of courage to even make that decision. So yeah, congratulations. Give yourself a round of applause and a clap. Pat yourself on the back, whatever it is. But yeah, it takes a lot to make that decision, so good on you. But yeah, what can I say? I mean, I'm sure you've seen my other videos where I'm like complaining about this year. It's just a lot. And I think for me, there was a lot of like loose ends that needs to be tied up for myself, where I feel like I can step into my next kind of chapter or journey of my life and be okay. And what I'd want to say as well is, like, the thing with therapy is it can be a lifetime thing, and it's okay for it to be a lifetime thing. Financially, obviously, there is that aspect where it can affect you. But I think it's okay. Like, if you wanted to do therapy once a month, you just wanted to check in with someone that was like unbiased and not your friends, not your family, it's absolutely fine. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what, for something that's gonna help your mental health and your mental state, like, I don't see a problem with doing that. But obviously there's different types of therapy and you may need longer or may need shorter. It just depends what your issues are. But yeah, you can have it for, I mean, as long as you live, it's up to you. You can have it for a short period of time, whatever helps you. But whatever going forward, it's like, I don't want people, or even myself, like, I don't want to feel like, oh, I'm relying on this to, you know, make me a better person or whatever. And it's like, even if you are relying on it, so what? Like, it's for yourself. It's making you a better person. It's helping you. And yeah, and if you feel like it isn't helping you, then what I would suggest is probably try a different therapist or just explore different options. But we can talk about that in a moment. So I'll take it all the way back, going back a few years now. So the first time I had therapy was in university. Lord knows, I'm sure there's a lot of people that can relate. University is hard, especially, like, I was not in London for university. So being away from family, it was like a shock to my system, all of that stuff. You don't have your support system, trying to live financially, like, it's just wild. Like, it's really wild. But yeah, I'm the type of person where I'll be like, yeah, everything's all right, everything's calm, everything's fine, yeah. And like, one day I woke up and everything was not fine. And I don't know what it was that triggered it. It was probably some issue or some boy or something that was going on in my life at that time. But it was so bad. Like, I'll be completely honest, and say I was literally suicidal. So anyone that's experienced that, and I really understand what you're going through, or if you know anyone that's gone through it or anything, like, let me know. If you need advice, anything like that, I'm happy to help. And I just want everyone to get through their issues and just, we're gonna be okay. Like, we're gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. But I definitely say that back then I could not see any way out, like, with like, to the point it was like suicidal and very, like, really, really, really bad depression. It was like I couldn't get out of bed, couldn't go to class, had to do retakes. It is tough. It is tough. Some people breathe through uni and that's fine. Like, that's their thing. They've got their own way of, they might have a better support system. I don't know. They just might be set up differently. A lot of people that I know have not had a good time in uni. So it is what it is. But yeah, I think then, like, I'll just speed up this process quickly. So I went to the doctors, and obviously they prescribed me with like antidepressants and stuff like that. And personally, I did not take them because I didn't want to be reliant on a tablet. But this is just me, because I do know, and I've spoken to people and it does help them. So don't ever think that it doesn't help you, but I would say just don't rely on a tablet for a very long time, because it can suppress how you feel. And just so you know, like, we all have the strength in us to get out of that, dark hole, to get out of that depression. I really don't want to be insensitive to anyone that, has medication or anything like that. That's not what I'm here for. If it helps you, that's absolutely fine. I'm not one to judge at all. I just think for me, I wanted to try and fight through it and see if I could do it myself. And I think it was more, I had my mum was telling me not to go on tablet. Like, she's just not a believer in tablets and stuff like that. So that was probably more of my influence as well. But yeah, obviously went to the doctors. They referred me to like the school counselor, therapist, university counselor. And it was very CBT based. So it's cognitive behavioral therapy, which challenges your unhelpful thoughts. So everything that is like not helping you at that moment in time is just a challenge that I think, like, at the time we kind of, dipped into like my past sort of thing and see if there was any triggers there. But it was definitely more to do with what is not helping at this current moment in time and how can we get you out of that. That's more like what CBT is about. So a lot of that, it was like just making a plan, getting yourself back together kind of thing, go to the gym, doing like affirmations and stuff like that. And it was a while ago. So I can't remember everything properly, but I was in therapy for like 6 months. And it got to the point where I felt like it wasn't working. Not that it wasn't working, like probably I reached my, length of time there. Because as I was going back there, I felt like I was just repeating myself all the time. So I was like, so maybe I don't, like, that's why I felt like I was relying on it. And And it's like, okay, maybe I can actually do this by myself. And after that, it was a bit, you know, hazy, and like you're young, you don't know you don't know what you're doing in this life. Like, no one knows what they're doing in this life. Even adults don't even know what they're doing in this life. So it is what it is. But yeah, I fought through it, got through it, came out a better person somehow. I don't know. I'm quite strong-willed anyway, and I don't know, I didn't want to give up, even though I was like the lowest of the lows. Like, I could not see how I was going to get out of it. It was just a black hole. But thankfully I got out of it. But yeah, years and years went on, things happen, years go by, and so last year, I was in therapy again. So this was probably about 8-year difference, I think. And that was, I think, a lot of built up kind of trauma, but more past trauma, more childhood. And I don't really like this word trauma, if I'm being honest. Like, it sounds really bad. And a lot of it is just things that we go through with our parents or family, or, a lot of what happens to us is from our childhood. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. And you've got to get to the depth, right to the deep, deep, deep sides of that to understand you as a person. As I said before, some people it's easy. Some people, maybe they block it out, maybe whatever. And there's some people, they really need to understand where they're coming from, why they do the things that they do. So with that therapy, that was like delving into my past, like everything that you can think of. Like, it was really bad. So I did that therapy for about 6 months as well. I was like, yeah, I went in there thinking, oh yeah, I only need like 3 months and whatever. But then when you do it and you start unraveling loads of things, like, there's loads of things that are going to come up. And this is the thing, that you've got to be ready to want to challenge these past issues, because you're going to cry. You're going to be sad. You're going to be angry. You're going to be you might be happy as well. It's such a roller coaster of emotions. You've got to be ready for it. And I'll be completely honest with that. And I don't think I was ready for what came out of it. Like, I'm glad, like, now I'm like, okay, I needed that. But going through the process, damn son, like, it was just very, very traumatic. Like, I started off, I think the first 6 weeks, I went every week. And then after that, it was every other week, I believe. Anyway, so they sort of, like, it depends on your therapist basically, but they write like a plan for you and obviously see how you're going each week. Particularly with that therapy last year, it was such a challenge for me, because you've got to do the work. Like, you get given homework. That was kind of CBT as well, but I think particularly it was focused more on I think it's psychodynamics. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's more like when you deal with family and stuff like that. But if not, if I've got that wrong, someone let me know. But yeah, it was more delving into that. And you've got to do the homework. You've got to be able to pick yourself up. You've got to be able to want to do it. And I think with that one, it was so, because of the things that I was going through and dealing with at the time, I probably didn't put in that effort that I should have, to do the homework, to build myself up, you know, that kind of thing. And I'll be completely honest, with her, it was a female therapist, and I didn't feel like, on analysis now, I didn't feel an entire connection with her. Like, she really challenged me, and that was a good thing. But there were some times where I just felt like, it was like I felt a bit looked down on, or I don't know what the word is, but it was a bit, yeah, there was not a correct fit there sometimes. And that's what you need to be aware of as well. You can't just find a therapist and that's it, and it's gonna be perfect for you, because you might change halfway through. You might feel like, yeah, this person's not really doing it for me anymore, and that is okay. Like, don't feel obliged to stay with that therapist, and just find out. And okay, it's tough because financially, yes, it's like no one wants to fork out all this money, but do you know what, it's like, if you can go out to eat, if you can, I don't know, buy trainers or whatever it is, it's like you can put money towards your mental health to make you a better person. Like, that's what I believe in anyway. And I think it's just so important to put yourself first and get yourself right if you feel like you're not right. But yeah, and I come to the end of that, and I think because I was so, I had unraveled like so many different layers and levels to my life that had just been sitting there for a while. I decided to stop doing it because it got to a point where it felt like a chore and I just wasn't enjoying it. So I think when things get to that point, it's you've just got to reevaluate. And either you obviously continue and carry on, or find someone else, or whatever it is. But I just decided to stop. And after that, I was left like pretty traumatized, and a lot of that led to anxiety. Anxiety is something I've never experienced before. Like, that was just crazy. Anxiety, it just came out of nowhere, and I didn't know how to deal with it. Everything was just overwhelming, very, very overwhelming, and you just don't know what to do. You don't know what causes it. It just comes suddenly, and I didn't know what to do. I think in the back of my mind, I was aware that there was something, I don't want to say something's still wrong with me, but there was something still going on, where it wasn't like, how can I say? There were things still a bit left unraveled. You know, like if you have a jumper and the string is like coming apart, like that's kind of how I felt. And I didn't really know what to do. And I think I was just so like taken back by everything that was unraveled. I was just like, I just need a break from this. But then obviously I was left with the anxiety. So in my head, I was like, right, I think it was getting to like the new year, so of about 2020, I was thinking, right, okay, I'm feeling like I need therapy, but I don't know what kind of therapy I need. And obviously it got to, I don't know, I was working, I think I got sick then, I was working, and obviously lockdown happened, blah, 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 blah. And in my other video, I'll put the link below, obviously I was saying how I felt this year, and the things that I was going through, and just, you know, I felt a bit lost kind of thing. Obviously I got made redundant, that kind of stuff. And I felt a bit lost. So I said, you know what? I need to nurture myself. Like, I need to just find myself again, find my identity. And it's like, I think you can tie yourself to jobs, you can tie yourself to that kind of thing. And, you know, you think that that is you. And whereas you need to find yourself outside of materialistic things or jobs or whatever it is, like you need to actually detach yourself from that. Yeah, so after that I looked into therapy, and and I looked on the BAATN website, which is Black African Asian Therapy Network. And I did that because, like, obviously I'm half black, so I think it's important that you can relate to someone that looks like you, you know, or what you've been surrounded by. I mean, that's not the, you know, be all end all. Obviously you might find someone of different heritage, etc., that works for you. That's absolutely okay. But me personally, that's just something that I wanted to do. So yeah, I was having a look through, and somehow, I don't know, it was just on this occasion, I was just drawn to, I picked out a few therapists that I thought might be okay. And there was one in particular that I was just drawn to her. Like, that was it. I was just, something just drew me to her, and I was like, yeah, this is the one. And the type of therapy that she does is integrative integrative therapy, which is like a bit of everything. So you do like humanistics, CBT, psychodynamics, and it's a lot more nurturing, a lot more of like, you know, like if you have a garden and your flowers are dying, it's a lot of more of like watering your plants, watering yourself to get back to your normal state. So I had like a first initial phone consultation with her, and I just liked her vibe straight away. I think sometimes, you know, like you can just feel it, you just know. And after that consultation, booked in for a face-to-face session. And I think it's important to do it face-to-face as well. You just get a better idea of the person that you're dealing with, and you just familiarize yourself more. It's just a bit more personal when it's face-to-face. If you obviously can't do it face-to-face, that's not a problem. But yeah, I met up with her and it's just been great. And I kind of like this integrated therapy because, like, it's kind of molded for you at that moment in your life. And I think sometimes we can forget about ourselves. As I was saying about the nurturing thing, we can forget about ourselves. We put everything and everyone before ourselves. So that was like really important for me, just to, I don't know, but you know, like, you just need a bit of a boost, and that's particularly what she focused on. So if that's the kind of thing that you're looking for, where you feel like you just need a boost, you need to be nurtured, you need to be like kind of put on the right track of life, like a kind of like a life coach, I guess, then I think like integrated therapy is a good way to go. But yeah, that's just like a little breakdown of what I've been going through. Obviously, I've only had 3 sessions so far with her. So I will do the most I can. Like, I will be making other videos to help you guys. I think it's important that we can help each other in terms of mental health and stuff like that. Not everyone can afford it, so I will be doing the best I can to help you guys with whatever you're going through. Hopefully my videos help, but I'll be putting them out in the near future. Yeah, and I can just give you a few lifestyle tips, things that you're going through personally. Hopefully they help. But yeah, man, we've got to work together. Got to have each other's backs, and that's the most important thing. But yeah, I'll put all the links below that will be helpful to you. Yeah, I'll catch you on the other side, guys. See you later.